Hey guys, welcome back with Juzzy Evo X, and today we're going to have a look at the differences between different OBD2 readers, and in particular why it might be that you're not actually able to view some data that you're wanting to know information about via TalkPro app in particular. So if you have an Evo X and you've got TalkPro and you've been following the scene for quite a while, you would have known that some plugins for TalkPro, in particular for the Evo X, to do with monitoring SST temps have disappeared, and that's just because of old data and unsupported data. The current trend at the moment is to support an app called Advanced EX for Mitsubishi, which is a plugin that enables the TalkPro app to read particular parameters of the Evo X that would just not necessarily normally be available by going into the options and choosing a gauge for that. So one of the guys that posts in a local Australian Facebook group in relation to this concern posted up recently that he was able to get it to work on some OBD2 readers but not for others. So just by having a look at these here, if you have a look at the information on them, there's nothing much apart from it's an OBD2 reader, it meets some sort of compliancy, as you can see. So that one is actually a Bluetooth one, this one's a Wi-Fi one. So there's no other information. It's just your typical eBay spec one. They work, don't get me wrong, but there's something a little bit different about them. So these ones here run on a version or protocol called version 1.5. This one here I've just purchased from eBay, and as you can see, it's a OBD2 to USB. And this one here is marketed as a version 2.1. So 2.1 OBD2 readers will allegedly have no concern with viewing SST temperatures as reported by the plugin. And the purpose of this video today is to have a look at, is that the truth? Because I'm not able to actually view SST temperatures on a 1.5 version with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or the OBD2 USB that's currently in my car, which I've gone in the TalkPro and checked the settings and confirmed that all three of these show as 1.5. So right now I'm going to cut the video, I'm going to install this into my car, I'm going to plug it up to the back of my latest Android head unit. We're going to go into the settings and confirm if it shows 2.1, and if that's the case, I'm going to show you what the temperatures are like for SST and how that compares in comparison to the base temp reader from Dodson. Now, the things that we need to take in consideration here is that TalkPro uses plugins with their own algorithms to retrieve data from what they believe Mitsubishi's ECU itself reports that the temperature is from the SST transmission. The Dodson heated sump uses a different probe, so yes, whilst it is in a different location on the box, and in particular it's where the heated sump is, you are not talking about a drastic difference because it's reading the same box literally within 20 centimeters of the factory probe. So there's no issues for concern there. But what we're wanting to do, and I'm hoping that this video goes pretty viral, because no one has a video on this online that actually talks about how realistic and precise temperatures are that are being reported from these apps in comparison to a direct probe that plugs into the sump. So let's get this myth dusted once and for all about how reliable it is, and if it's not reliable, in my consideration, what types of differences am I seeing in comparison to the app which you could take into consideration with your own car. I've got an Evo X GSR SST. So yes, in Australia, the GSR did come as an SST transmission. I've got the Dodson heated sump on my transition. My SST box has been serviced less than 10,000 kilometers ago with a teach-in. The car develops 285 kilowatts at 24 pound. It's got no actual fog light delete covers, so straight to the cooler you've got no mesh, no covers. I've just got a water cooler set up for the SST transmission, and of course in Australia, so we've got the water cool sprayer for the FMIC. Same thing for the driver's side. The oil cooler has no fog light delete, so there's no mesh there. As you can see, it just goes straight through. So they're my parameters. So if you want to take this in consideration with your car and the variations in temp, that's my setup. Let's go and have a look to see if 2.1 can actually view the SST gauge. Alright guys, so I've just finished swapping over the OBD to USB reader. So I had one before, so I won't need to go into Talk Pro and change it in my settings, but I'll show you how that's done anyway. So if you're not familiar with my channel and with my mods from my Instagram, Juzzy Evo X, then you can see here that I've got a Dodson base temp reader. So essentially all this is just a probe that goes straight to the Dodson heated sump. So that's the sump cover for the SST transmission. I've just driven to the shops and back. At the moment it's displaying that it's 38 degrees Celsius. So now we're going through to the Android head unit. So I'm just going to load Talk Pro here. Alrighty, so as you can see here, I've got the plugin for Advanced EX. When you click onto that, you need to make sure you go into car model and ensure that it's set to SST transmission. Don't worry about it saying Evo 8, just SST transmission. So select it. In my case, I've gone to update and I've just got it at normal, so I haven't changed that in any way. So I go back and I go into settings, vehicle profile. So I'm going to edit my vehicle profile. Sorry about this. I want the pencil so I can go into it. So as you can see, I've just got Evo sedan, 2 litre. I've got my car at 1500, E85. Not that any of that really needs to be changed, but if you go into advanced settings down here, and then you go all the way to the bottom, just make sure that you've got that preferred OBD2 protocol as automatic fast protocol, and then that there is as defined in OBD2 settings. So as you can see, there's my settings. Nothing else has changed. All of that is same value. 1 means default. All of that's the same. So once you've got those same settings as I do, hit save. Then we're going to go into settings here. And if you're wanting to change your OBD2 adapter between USB, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth, you do it here. So in this case, you can see I've got it set to USB. Alright, so if we go to OBD2 adapter settings from the Talk Pro settings screen, you can go down here. I've got faster communication on. I'm not calculating fuel. None of those settings are on. Absolutely nothing's on. This just simply means that I'm choosing the USB adapter. Baud rate is just set to automatic. Special settings options is all just nil. Nothing set there. Now if we go to manage extra PIDs and settings, these ones are appearing here because in in my case, and this is great. In my case, all these are gold. This one here for transmission temperature was previously gold as well. But if you haven't purchased the Advanced EX plugin, then what you need to do is go to Add Predefined Set, and then in there you need to choose SST. All right. Now, if you go back. So just want to make sure that when you go into these OBD2 adapter settings, you can see in here that you've got select USB device. Now, in my case, I don't normally tick this box, but because I have put a new OBD2 device into here, I'm just going to select it and always go always open when the USB is connected. Alrighty, so that's selected. So I'm going to go back. Now, because I've selected it, you can see here that there's a car symbol. That car symbol means that it's connected. But just for the sake of things of good practice, I'm just going to quit out of it. So you can see I quitted the proper way, not just press back, because pressing back does not quit the program. I'm going to load it again, and you're going to see that up here, it's connected instantly because it's OBD to USB. It's faster than Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. All right, so we're going to go into OBD2 adapter status, and as you can see, it's now showing that it's connected to the ECU, and what do you know? Down here, it says adapter version is 1.5. So when I purchased this, they said that it was 2.1. So that's very interesting. Anyway, for the sake of this video, I'm going to proceed and see if I can actually see the SST temp, because they marketed it as 2.1, but in here it's still showing 1.5, and 1.5 is exactly what all of my other OBD2 readers were displaying, and I was not able to view the SST transmission. So you go into real time, and what do you know? How about that? 50s there. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. That is very interesting. I'm going to add a display, and I'm just going to choose it as a digital display, okay, which just means a number. Now all these ones are green here because the app and the program are able to see these readings. Now, my tuner has had success in able to read the SST transmission when it's not showing green in here. Interestingly, it's never shown green for me. And if I just MIDV okay, so that's just showing you what sort of information I'm getting when it's green, and for whatever you're interested in, you can do a comparison. But this is just so you've got an idea. If you're trying to fault find why you can't read the SST transmission and you're just wanting to see what I could see on a device that's reporting or reading as 1.5 in here. So as you can see, there are transmission temperatures here, but these are not the actual ones for the SST transmission. All of the ones for, so I'm right at the bottom, all of the ones for Advanced EX are towards the top of the list, and they are prefixed with the MIDV code at the front. So you can see these are the values. You can see clutch slip, clutch temperature, clutch 2 temperature, cooling fan, and you can see here transmission temperature. So this is the one that is supposed to be for the SST transmission. All right. So what people then normally do is they go in and they will change the title to say SST. So we'll do that as well, just for argument's sake. SST temp. All right, and we'll hit OK. Now, for the moment that everyone's been wanting to know if this is reliable or not, 50 degrees SST temp is reported here on the Android head unit. Down here on the Dodson heated sump probe, 36 degrees. Okay, so that's a 14-degree temperature difference compared to what I know is fact. So I'm going to start the car up now. So I've started the car, and we're just going to see variations in temperature so we can make our own decisions about whether this is accurate or not. And my tuner said that the temperatures on Advanced EX seem to be coming up a lot quicker than what it actually is, and he did not believe that it was correct in its value readings. Sorry for pausing there, guys. I just turned the fans on in my garage because I don't want to stink the house out. So back to it. So I'm just going to go always open to USB device. You're going to see that it connects. All right, so it's connected. You can see it's reading the revs. Going to go to real-time information, and there you go. So at the moment, you can see some of the information that I like to view on the fly. So I've got coolant temperature, boost, which is vacuum up there. Runtime, I like to have a rough idea of how many minutes I've got to run before I know that the transmission temperature's up to idle operating temperatures. So for me, that's over 75 degrees. That's what I like. Intake temps, battery voltage, and timing advance. So at the moment, it's showing transmission temperature of 49, and it's not even moving. Down here, it's down at 47. So 47, 50. Hopefully that's a bit better for you guys. So that transmission temperature is not moving at all. It was at 50, I turned the car off, I started it up. It's now at 49, it went back to 50. Dodson heated sup is at 52. Transmission temp is not moving at all. Why is that not moving? Good question. But as you can see, what's happening is my radiator temperature is coming up, and so therefore that water is cycling through the SST transmission. As you can see, temperature's coming up pretty quickly. You would never have that rise if you did not have a heated sump. So 55, transmission sitting at 50. Alright guys, so you can make your own analysis of that in comparison to other values you might read. Just going to turn the car off now. So I've just turned accessories off. So it's reading 51 there. This is reading 59. Such an interesting comparison. So if we go to the values for this, display configuration, and you see that there's an option there for setting minimum and maximum value. Minimum value is set at 0, so it's not a case of it wasn't moving because the minimum value was set at 50. It was nothing to do with that at all. So as you can see, it was at 60. Now the Dodson sump's gone down to 59. The engine will be getting some slight heat soak now because there's no fan cycling. The car's not moving at all. I'm sitting here in my garage. Just having a look at some other settings here. There's no max value set. So there's nothing tricky going on here. Warnings, display type, change size, number of decimal places. Nothing there is tricky. So 58, temperature starting to go down, but there's no variation in transmission temp here. Okay guys, so I will cut the video now, and I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you believe that this is a reasonable means of checking the temperature in comparison to a much more expensive and accurate Dodson heated sump, then you can make your own decisions from the data you've seen here. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Username on Instagram and here on YouTube is Juzzie Evo X, so that's Juzzie. Hope you've enjoyed it guys, and we'll see you in the next video.